What if I told you that one simple habit is quietly draining your energy, killing your confidence, and keeping you stuck in life? You feel exhausted, unmotivated, and trapped in a cycle that you can't escape. But what if the secret to unshakable self-control and true masculinity has been hiding in plain sight all along? Stick with me, because after hearing this, you will never look at this habit the same way again. Masturbation, a topic nobody likes to talk about, but everyone deals with. Some say it's normal, harmless, and even healthy. But have you ever stopped to question it? Have you ever wondered why, despite what modern society tells you, something inside you still feels off? What if I told you that this so-called harmless habit is doing more damage than you think? Think about it. That sense of guilt, that lack of motivation after indulging in it, that feeling of emptiness, like something inside you is slipping away. But why? Science has already confirmed what you felt all along. Every time you engage in this habit, your brain releases a massive surge of dopamine, the pleasure chemical. It feels good in the moment, but there's a catch. Dopamine is the same neurotransmitter released when people use drugs. The more you indulge, the more your brain becomes addicted to quick, easy pleasure. Just like any addiction, the side effects begin to show. You feel drained, weak, and unmotivated. Your drive to accomplish real goals fades away because your brain has already received its reward, without you actually achieving anything. It's the illusion of victory without the battle, the illusion of success without the effort. And with every indulgence, you reinforce a cycle of weakness where instant gratification replaces real accomplishment. The greatest minds in history knew something that modern society chooses to ignore. The ancient Stoics, warriors, emperors, and visionaries understood the cost of pleasure-seeking and the power of discipline. They knew that men who surrendered to their desires would never truly be free. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." And that's exactly what happens when you allow yourself to be controlled by pleasure. Every time you give in to this habit, you reinforce a mindset of weakness. You tell yourself, "I need this," when in reality, it's controlling you. Marcus Aurelius, the great emperor of Rome, believed in mastering desires, not being ruled by them. He understood that a man who cannot control himself will never be truly free. The more you seek pleasure, the more you become its prisoner. The more you chase instant gratification, the further you move away from true fulfillment. Look at history. Every great man, warriors, leaders, and thinkers, had one thing in common. They controlled their desires. They didn't let urges dictate their actions. And because of that, they achieved greatness, while others remained enslaved to their impulses. They understood that true power comes from discipline, from mastering oneself. They didn't allow themselves to be drained by mindless indulgence. They channeled their energy into building, creating, and conquering. And that is the path to real masculinity, real power, real fulfillment. So how do you escape this trap? How do you take back control and break free from a habit that's been silently holding you back? First, understand this. Discipline is the key to freedom. Epictetus, another great Stoic, said, "No man is truly free who is not master of himself." And that's where it starts. The moment you decide to stop being a slave to your desires is the moment you start reclaiming your power. But self-discipline isn't about denying yourself. It's about choosing what's truly valuable over what's easy. Every time you resist the urge, you train your mind to become stronger. You build mental toughness. And over time, your impulses lose their control over you. You take back the reins of your own mind and body. Second, find your purpose. Why do so many men struggle with this habit? Because they lack something meaningful to channel their energy into. A man without purpose is a man without direction. And when you have no direction, you default to easy pleasures. But think about it. When your mind is occupied with building a business, mastering a skill, or achieving something great, do you really have time for pointless indulgence? The key isn't just to quit a habit. It's to replace it with something greater, something that fuels you instead of draining you. Third, understand the power of transmutation. Ancient warriors, artists, and philosophers knew a secret that most men today ignore. They understood that sexual energy is the most powerful force in a man's body. And when that energy is wasted, so is his potential. But when it's redirected, when it's channeled into something productive, it becomes a source of unstoppable drive. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest minds in history, stayed celibate his entire life because he understood this principle. He knew that by redirecting his energy, he could achieve greatness that others couldn't. And this is exactly what the Stoics preached. Instead of wasting your energy on temporary pleasure, use it to fuel your ambition, your creativity, and your discipline. Your energy is your greatest asset. Stop squandering it and start using it to forge a life worth living. Now imagine this: waking up every day with unbreakable confidence, no guilt, no weakness, just pure, unstoppable energy. Imagine feeling more motivated, more focused, and more in control of your life than ever before. That's what happens when you break free. Your testosterone levels increase, your mental clarity sharpens, your drive to achieve skyrockets, and most importantly, you regain the power over your own mind. This is what the Stoics meant by true freedom. It's not just about quitting a habit, it's about becoming the man you were meant to be. A man of strength, a man of discipline, a man who refuses to be ruled by his desires, but instead rules over them. So now, the question is, will you stay trapped in the cycle, or will you take control? Will you keep letting an empty habit steal your potential, or will you rise above it? The choice is yours. But remember this: no great man in history was ruled by his desires. The ones who changed the world were the ones who mastered themselves first. If you're ready to break free, reclaim your power, and start living like a true Stoic, make the decision today. Your journey to self-mastery starts now.